Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fourth and final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. It's Emirates Stakes Day, family day, when the mums and dads go to a lot of trouble to make their young ones look absolutely terrific for a day at the races. Well, what a memorable week it's been. The owner of Rogan Josh, Wendy Green, what a delight she is. But of course, the real story was 11 Melbourne Cups for Bart Cummings with Rogan Josh. He is a genius, there's no doubt about it. Weather today, not that terrific, but come to the races anyway. 18 degrees, partly cloudy, few showers around, but it is also breaking up a little bit as well. Well, speaking of stayers, tried and true over the distance, here's Peter Donegan with his panel. Good morning.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it is an overcast day, some fairly threatening clouds hovering over Flemington, but maybe we might have seen the worst of the weather, and we're going to be in for a wonderful day of racing. The Emirates Stakes today is amongst the most open races I have ever seen. It is an amazing race, and we have had a fair bit of rain overnight, so the track condition is all important. We'll check that out in a moment. First of all, let's take a look at the program for today, and it all begins with the Maggi Trophy, race number 1 at 11:30 through to the big event of the day, race 6, the Group 1 Emirates Stakes, over 1,600 metres at 2:45. Then the Queen Elizabeth race 8, and the curtain comes down on the carnival with the Clevenger BBDO plate at 4:45. OK, let's go out to the track now and see how much the overnight rain has affected the famous Flemington surface. And out there are the gentlemen who've been in the commentary box for the first 3 days and will be again today. Dan Malicki and Gary Willits, a very good morning to you.
Thank you very much, Peter. As you said, a little bit of overnight rain. The track is dead. I must say it's probably still in better condition than I'd thought, but you're looking certainly at the give in the ground today. The rail is out 5 metres for the entire circumference. Track officially rated as dead, Gary.
Yes, and look, I'm really surprised the way this track has come up, down, and we're standing right in the middle of the track here, and we've got this wind. It's a westerly wind and blowing right in the horses' faces as they come up the straight. But this wind is definitely drying this track out. The outside's definitely faster. I would say as a jockey, I wouldn't want to be leading on the fence and trying to lead all the way. I think you'll have horses getting home over the top of them. So if you like a fancy that gets back in a race, I'd like to be backing them today. I think it'll be very hard to lead.
Down the centre of the track seems to be the most unused part of the Flemington track, so I wouldn't be surprised, particularly in the bowl races, Pete, to see them shifting away from the fence and almost coming down the middle of the track in the home stretch. And Gary pointed out that the outside's certainly faster, but they may well use up half the track from the middle to the outside rail. So you're looking for horses that certainly have form. Even on a good track, don't get swayed too much, because at this stage, although they've given the track, it's certainly not rain affected, but officially rated as dead on the better side of it, and the rail is out 5 metres.
Thank you, Dan. Well done to you and to Gary Willits, especially for Gary's tipping performance on Thursday, and hopefully we might have a repetition here today. But that's pretty good news about the track. Well, time to join the illustrious panel. They've made it through Derby Day, they've made it through Cup Day, they even made it through Oaks Day, and more particularly Oaks Night. And here they are, Jenny Chapman, Richard Friedman, John Letts. Good morning.
Good morning, Pete.
Good morning.
Howdy, Pete.
And nice to see that we keep it up, completely out of sync with the good mornings.
Yeah, well,
Tradition's been there for a while, so it's good to keep it going too, isn't
It's
it?
not changed.
Jen, have you done 2 sets of form for today?
Well, yes, I had to because of the prediction of rain. At the moment, it's not raining, but I just thought that we have to keep an eye on it, obviously, for the big race, the Emirates, and what a great race that is.
It is a fantastic race. Richard, I don't think I've ever seen a more open race than the Emirates today.
Well, I think we were going through this morning and there were 17 of the runners had one on rain-affected going. So, you know, there's every scope there that they will, you know, be able to handle it, and we'll have a very competitive race.
Johnny, let's harking back to Thursday. The happiest man at Flemington was no doubt Darren Gauci. He really probably got the monkey off the back a little bit with that win on Tributes in the Oaks.
It was great to see too, Pete, and you could just feel the emotion when he pulled up after the race. It was just a relief, and it was great to see.
Let's check out the scratchings for today's program here at Flemington, and it all begins with the Maggi Trophy, as I said, race 1 at 11:30, takeout number 2 dominating, no riding changes, 11 to run. Second event, now this is a rarity in racing. Not one horse in this race has been beaten. We've got 4 first start winners and 2 unraced. So it's all clear, no riding changes, 6 running. Race number 3, Troyer's Arrowfield Matriarch Stakes at 12:45, take out 17 Miss Magical, 18 Mystic Melody and 19 Robley Lass. There are no riding changes, 16 to run. Fourth event is the Sutcliffe Stakes at 1:25, scratching number 4 Keenland, no riding changes again, small field of 6. Race 5, the Hilton on the Park Sprint at 2:05, 1 Bomber Bill, 8 Cullen, 9 Harley and 11 Glamorimus come out. 1, 8, 9 and 11. That leaves a field of 9 and there are no riding changes. You can take out the emergencies from the Emirates Stakes, the big one, Group 1 at 2.45, 17 Brave Prince, 18 Evocative and 19 Western Magic. No riding changes, 16 to run. The Village Roadshow Welter, race 7 at 3.25 is clear. The rider for number 11, Joe Bananas, is Larry Cassidy, and we've got 12 running. Race 8, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes at 4:05, scratching to number 3, Bohemian, 7 Cheviot and 8 Miss Danehill, 3, 7 and 8. And there are no riding changes, 8 to run. And the last, the Clemenger BBDO Plate at 4.45, take out number 2, Belzevere, 3 Storm Rebel, 17 Fra Diavolo and 18 Alyosha Star. The rider for number 16, Lucky Raid, should be Danny Nikolic. I believe that is not 100% official yet, but D. Nikolic will probably ride 16. And the rider for 19, Dance Music, is RS Dyer, field of 15 to run in race 9. Totes for the big one, the Emirates Stakes, and well, if you've got a pin, sharpen it up here. This could be the easiest way to pick the winner. Northern Drake back from injury, 16. Rebel, runner-up in the McKinnon, 19. Umrum, 25. LA Suez, wide throughout in the Caulfield Cup, 7.40. Black Bean, a winner here the other day on Derby Day, 5.60. Bonanova, $5, has come up the favourite, so it's 4's the field on the tote. La Zagaleta for the Freedman Stable, $11.30. Nina Haraka, $10 with the 3,000 owners. That might come in a bit. Noir Sear, 14. Vetiver, 21. Over the page, still plenty more chances to come. And they are Des's Dream at 21. Bebeto, the outsider of the field, at 52. Caniana, 18. Go Flash Go's got a real hope at $26. Pursuit's 33. And Strident is at $40. Now let's check the progress of the Ron Hutchinson Excellence Award going into the final day of the carnival, and John Marshall is a narrow leader at the moment, but there are several top-class riders breathing down his neck. Jimmy Cassidy, Darren Gauci after his win on Tributes, and Brett Preble, of course, who is the jockey of the carnival without question at the moment as far as winners are concerned. Greg Hall and Greg Childs have also polled, but Johnny Marshall, after his win in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, is a narrow leader at this stage in the Ron Hutchinson Excellence Award. Well, it's time now to head down to the betting ring and talk to the man who's been looking at all the plunges going on, Tim Gossage. As we say good morning to you, have you ever seen a more open race than this Emirates Stakes?
Certainly not, Peter. And at the start of the day, it was going to be 8 to 1 the field, so double each way odds. But speaking to Leading Rails bookmaker Race, one of you a short time ago, he said Bonanova will open up about a 5 to 1 favourite, so still very good value about whatever horse you like. He also said that number 14, Go Flash Go, would be about 6 to 1. Bookies, well, over the 3 days of the carnival so far, they were even coming up to the last 2 races on Oaks Day, but they lost plenty with Far Rain and Palladium Star, so the punters have the bookies on the canvas. They're hoping to deliver the knockout blow at some stage today, Pete.
Well, we can only hope so, Tim Gossage, and he'll be the man who'll be bringing us up to date with everything that's happening in the betting ring this afternoon. Well, it's time to head down to the marquee, and as we do, we should welcome our viewers not only around Australia but also through the Racing Network in the United States of America. We hope that you're enjoying our wonderful carnival. It's been 3 fantastic days so far, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy Emirates Stakes Day. So a big welcome to all of you in America. And here's a lady who's dressed appropriately for America this morning with the cowboy hat on, looking resplendent. Sandra Sully, good morning to you.
Good morning. Yes, Peter. Cowboy hat, but Summer reminded me today I look more like Calamity Jane. Fingers crossed I don't bring that to the broadcast. But I have 2 gentlemen with me. As you know, it's a carnival atmosphere and the last day is a family fun day. But 2 gentlemen who are largely responsible for the outstanding success of this year's carnival. Andrew Ramsden, Chairman of the VRC, and Brian Beattie, Chief Executive Officer. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
Andrew, if I could start with you. Extraordinary week, record crowds. You only need about 20,000 to turn up today. To beat last year, you must be quite happy.
Quite happy, delighted actually, because 20,000 is not many. The weather seems to be holding off, and I think 25,000 will really break the record. Would be marvellous.
Mother Nature has been on your side this year, but what do you think has been the reason behind the extraordinary turnout?
It will be excellent marketing, and we've got a great marketing department, and quite a big nudge along from the Chief Executive. He makes them work pretty well.
Brian, if I could ask you, the centre of the track was opened up this year for the first time. Some mixed success. I know logistically there were a few hiccups, but just a taste of things to come?
Well, I think that we did it this year to trial it, and what we offered out there was excellent value, and a lot of people came and enjoyed it, and most of the people we've surveyed, there were a few minor hiccups, but they accepted in the first year of something like that those things can happen. But I think 95% of them look forward to coming back next year, so that I think it worked very well, and it'll be bigger and better next year, I'm sure.
One can only imagine how big the crowds can reach when you consider once the centre is opened up and all of those issues are fine-tuned. That's the great thing about test events, is you can iron out the issues for next year. One slightly negative this year, of course, is the actual race itself on Cup Day, marred by some pretty rough riding, and it was a tough contest. What can you put in place to rectify that for everyone next year?
Well, the stewards are conducting a full review of that, so I'm sure that will improve. But I think next year, of course, we'll have our members' grandstand open, the new members' grandstand, costing some 40-odd million. And really, it is a great opportunity. We're up to 16,500 members now, and we'll close that when it gets to 20,000. So anyone who's enjoyed the carnival and wants to come next year and like to become a member, it really is a once-in-a-lifetime chance of becoming a member. So if anyone's interested, they should contact the office on Monday to apply and join.
Andrew, you mentioned earlier there has been some terrific marketing. One of the major targets these days is, of course, young Australians, and they have turned out in their droves. That has really been a successful ploy, hasn't it? I guess the next step, though, is to get them to start betting up and not just coming to have a great day.
Well, I think just getting there in the first place is the most important thing. We've had our young members' days on 3 or 4 occasions during the year, always getting bigger and better. And I think they'll come into their betting in due course. I'm not worried about that. Also, let them enjoy themselves. Bring their ladies on the Ladies' Day, bring their boys, and away we go.
There's something for everybody, isn't there? We want to congratulate you both on what has been a terrific carnival. It's been great to be a part of it with Network 10, and we wish you the best of luck. I know next year it's going to be bigger and better, if that's possible, especially with that grandstand. So well done, gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of the week and what's left for you. I'm sure it's an opportunity now, hopefully, to let your hair down a little.
After 5 o'clock, I think, not before.
No, of course not, Andrew.
It's still a working day.
All right, again, thanks very much. And Peter, as you can see, 2 very happy gentlemen, as everyone is who's turned out this Melbourne Cup Carnival.
Well, Sandra, they should be very happy, and let's hope we do get the record attendance here today for the carnival. It has been a marvellous one, and I'm sure the racing today is going to draw a lot more people through the gate. All right, we're off and running on the final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. The Spring Racing Carnival, of course, continues next week with the Sandown Classic. But let's take a look at Milton Black. He's had a bit of success over the first 4 days, and let's hope that he can keep it going here on the final day. Now a part of the Spring Racing Carnival. That was on Grosby Gold Cup night at Moonee Valley. And of course, not only now in Melbourne, it is also a part of racing in Sydney, at Canterbury. It's been at Toowoomba in Queensland for some time. It's been a great success, a tremendous spectacle. Well, as the Spring Racing Carnival continues here at Flemington, and we come to the final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival, it is Family Day, of course, and that's going to be a big part of the activities today. Fashions on the field for the youngsters. The faces are being painted. Not only the youngsters will have their faces painted today, John Letts is getting his face painted before he gets on banjo and goes out and does the interviews, and that should be interesting. Letts, are you looking forward to that?
Well, I want to see how I look with a moustache and glasses.
Yeah, well, so do we. And,
make sure they spack fill it first.
The Emirates Stakes, we're going to have a look at this particular race now. And Jen, doing the form last night, as you always do very thoroughly, is there any horse in the field that you could rule out and say it hasn't got a chance?
Well, the emergencies now that there's scratches,
yeah,
for
the
sure.
scratchings. They're the only ones.
Peter, look, it is a very, very tough race. I thought there wasn't much pace in the race. There's probably Go Flash, Go and Bebeto that are going to go out there and make the pace. There's a lot that get back and we'll need a little bit of luck to run on as well. But that could be the case too. So it's a bit hard to rule out at this stage. I thought Go Flash Go had a good chance though.
We'll come to the selections in a moment. Rich Lazagaleta is representing the stable. He was a really strong win at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, and of course he likes it soft too. You know, it's his specialist ground if he gets on the dead ground. So a bit of rain overnight hasn't hurt his chances.
Let's see, have you seen a more open field than this?
No, I haven't, but I did like the winner of Black Bean the other day. I think he's a very impressive horse, this horse.
Well, why don't we have a look at Rebel, which ran second in the McKinnon Stakes the other day. It was a pretty good effort, this, at very long odds, and he's going to be one of the favourites today. And this wasn't a bad performance, Jen.
Well, the form's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rogan Josh, of course, is the winner. And he's dropping back now the extra 400 metres. And I think it'll suit this horse too. His wet form, if we do happen to get a lot of rain, is good as well. So he comes into it.
You just noticed that Jim Collett actually had to put the stick away for a couple of strides when the horse ducked in. It did cost it ground. I don't think it would have beaten Rogan Josh, but it probably would have finished a little bit closer than about a half or 3/4 of a length there. But in such an open race, I'm sure we're going to come up with some sort of variation of selections here. Ladies first, Jen.
I'm going to go with a bit of value here. Go Flash Go, 4 wide last start at Moonee Valley. The start before, he was annoyed by the loose horse in the race. For second, I'll put in number 6, Bonanova. She is just as game as they come. For my third selection, number 4, LA Suez, and Ruffy, another one, number 10, Verdi Bear.
Rich, are you sticking with yours?
Yeah, I'll stick with the stable. I know he's fitting well, so I'll stay with Lazagoletta. I like Black Bean. His form's been pretty good, and he's you know, very competitive at the weights there. And LA Suez, you can't fault his form much either. Best outside of Nina Haraka. She's done well all spring.
Let's see.
I think the horse has a lot of luck in this, but I do like Black Bean. I think Brett Trebble's the jockey of the moment. I think it can beat Bonanova, Noir Sir to run third, and I'm like Jenny, Vetiver to run the big race at good odds.
This is one of the premier mile races on the calendar. The Epsom is the premier mile race on the calendar in Australia every year, and LA Suez was outstanding in that and was never on the track in the Caulfield Cup. I think he's better suited at 1,600 metres, and I think he'll beat this wonderful mare, Bonanova, who only knows to give 100%. And the 3,000 owners might have something to cheer about with Nina Haraka, and like Jen, I think Go Flash Go has got a very good long shot chance in the Emirates. Now, the best bet selections for the quaddies, courtesy of Best Bets, and there you can see them. So we've got 5 by 4 by 5 by 2. So that's 20, 100, 200. If you take it for $1, that'll be $200, or if you take it for 50 cents, it'll be 100. And one thing's for sure, if you can find the winner of race 6, the Emirates Stakes today, then you are going to get a very, very good value. Totes for the first, and another Timar number 1 is at $10.40. This is the Maggi Trophy. It's due to start at 11:30, so that's about 9 minutes away. Prince of Rebels at $7.90. Cool Prince has come up the favourite at $3.30. Vanderhaar $6.20. Lord Rialton $18.80. Rocky's Pal $6.50. Over the page to Tuscan Rule, which is good each way odds at $9.20. Name the Day $23. Storm and Prince $14. Captain Clipper $41. Major Action is at $27, $134,000 in the Super Tab win pool. They are the dividends for $1 as they stand at the moment for race 1, the Maggi Trophy, which is due in 9 minutes' time. And the big one of the day is, of course, the Emirates Stakes, and that is due to commence this afternoon at 2:45. So we're a little way away from that. We're going to head to the break now with more of Milton Black and his look at Emirates Stakes Day, and then we'll come back with the running of the first event here on the final day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival at Flemington.
He was by far the best horse I've ridden. That was one of his first major wins, and he only just won that day, but he had that trait of just winning his races, and even though that was a very good field, he went on to win much better races, and he still won them at that, you know, by a small margin, and he used to know where the winning post was, and that day he just got there, but that was his style of racing.
I was only a 16-year-old boy. I had my first ride on a 100-to-1 outsider, and it went no good. And then Darren Beaver couldn't make the weight on Pontormo, so Lee Freeman asked me to ride it, so it was a very fortunate day for me. He was a great horse, probably one of among me top 3 favourites, Shaftesbury. He had a bit against him winning that day. We got a big shower of rain prior to leaving the mounting yard. I think he drew 16 alley at 56, and Bart said, whatever you do, don't lead. So what did I do? I come out of 16 alley, went straight to the front and said, thanks for coming.
And he was a bit of a trick to ride, the horse. If he'd seen daylight too early, he wouldn't finish off his race, which he did here one day at Caulfield. And that day I just locked him up in behind him for as long as I could. And when I let loose, he really stretched, and really that day I believe it was a turning point in his life to go on, and he went on to win the Hong Kong Bowl.
It's been called a few things over the years, but today it's the Emirates Stakes, and there is the very unique trophy, $2,500 worth, which will go to the connections of the lucky winner of the principal race on this last day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. And the breeze is getting up, the clouds are skirting around Flemington, the weather looking very threatening in various parts, but just no rain at the moment, and we've got our fingers crossed. They've been lucky so far. They're at the start for the first, the Magi Trophy, 1,100 metres, and it is down the famous straight course. And there is the map brought to you by Qantas, and here are the selections. Jem, why have you gone for another Timo?
Well, this horse races on the pace. He does enjoy the sting out. He's got that here today, and he's a pretty good horse. His record really does speak for himself. Number 4, Cool Prince, I thought he had a very good chance as well. I put him in for second. Number 8, Tuscan Rule for third.
Storm and Prince for you, Rich?
Yeah, he ran at Bendigo first up the other day, ran second. He'll get a bit of improvement out of that, and he's got B. Preble in the saddle.
Let's see, you agree with Jennifer?
Yes, I like this horse's form, Pete, and you know, the point you made earlier in the day was the middle barrier starts from the middle of the track now. It's going to help this horse.
And I've gone for Tuscan Rule, one coming out of the John Hawkes stable. Darren Gauci now with his tail up after that win the other day. Prince of Rebels for Dan, and Cool Prince from Gary Willits. And they're at the gates for the running of the first, and we only need, as we said, around 20,000 racegoers today to break the all-time record, which was set last year of 284,962. And David Hall is looking to equal David Hayes' record of 10 winners over 4 days, and Brett Preble might very well break Jack Purtell's long-standing record of 8, which was set back in 1952. As the candidates mill around and are about to be inserted into the gates, in fact, a few of them already have been, let's go down for the latest from the betting ring. Tim Gossage.
Thanks very much, Peter. Well, most things have drifted in the ring, in particular the top weight. Another team, it's been a notable drifter, almost doubled its opening price. Best back late in the race in this is number 7, Rocky's Power, in from each way odds just to a shade under, but Cool Prince will run favourite, but good money for Rocky's Power.
Cool Prince, the one here in the first, according to Tim Gossage in the betting ring. Let's head up to the commentary box now and get those pens poised, because when we did this the other day, Gary Willits was just picking winner after winner. Not that I'm trying to put any pressure on you, Gaz.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Peter. It's might be a bit harder today with this different track. As I said, that wind's right in their faces, so I'd like to be just getting a bit of cover if I was riding today. But I did like the look of the number 7, Rocky's Power. 4, Cool Prince, looks very good and very fit with Damien Oliver on. And I like the one that Jenny liked, number 1. I thought it looked very good going down. But I marked them 4, 7 and 1.
Lord Rielton coming up. Track officially rated as dead. Scratching in the first, number 2, 11 running. And they're all set to go. Racing now. Getting away pretty well, the favourites, Cool Prince, Prince of Rebels. It's going to settle in the back half of the field. Another Timar's going to lead up early. From Major Action, Captain Clipper, Name the Day. Then Van der Haar, Storm and Prince just in behind them. Would be in about 6th position. Prince of Rebels is next. They were followed by Rocky's Pal, who's the furthest in towards the centre of the track. They were followed by Lord Rielton, Storm and Prince just inside of it. They were followed by Cool Prince. He's been able to drift back, but he's probably only about 3 or 4 lengths off the lead, and Tuscan Rule is back there with him. Onto the course proper, 500 to go. It's another Timar leading. From in second spot, Major Action. Name the Day there. Captain Clipper, Prince of Rebels is running on. Storm and Prince is blocked. Rocky Pell running into the race as well, and then came Tuscan Rule as they came to the 300 metres, and going up to hit the lead was Captain Clipper. After it was Rocky's Pell. Further out on the track was another Timar, but it's Captain Clipper. Rocky's Pell's after it, then Prince of Rebels. Rocky's Pell after Captain Clipper, 100 to go. Rocky's Pell's taken the lead. Captain Clipper trying to go with it. Rocky's Pell a half a length in front of Captain Clipper, and Rocky's Pell wins it a half a length. Captain Clipper second, 3 away Van der Haar third from Tuscan Rule. Then Prince of Rebels and Storm and Prince Name the Day. Further back another Timar, it knocked up. Cool Prince was never a factor. Then came Lord Rielton, the stablemate, and knocking up was Major Action.
Well, if you did back Cool Prince, about the 800, he went to go up on the outside, Damien Oliver, and didn't have any luck at all. The other one of the Smurton runners, they sort of got in a bumping duel, and Damien unfortunately came off second best. There wasn't a lot of room when he first went there. But gee, Rocky's Pal was a very good win. Now here it's coming to this incident. You can see Damien's actually, there's Guevara, the winner there, Rocky's Pal. But the one on the outside rail, running last, was Cool Prince. And as you run it on a bit, the one in the blue hat and the gold, you can see Damien try and get a run here. And now the run will start to close. And he just can't go anywhere. So there he's blocked there, can't go, and he's gone to the line hard held. So if you did back Cool Prince, just remember it.
Now the winners virtually came up the middle of the track, and all the way along, Gary, he was probably 2 or 3 horse widths away from any other horse, and then towards the latter part, often when they're under pressure they can drift out a little bit, and he has, look at here, look at the gap, and that was pretty much all the way up the straight except for the last 150 when he went closer to the outside rail.
That's right. Well, that might be the best part of the track, because most horses haven't galloped on there. And you know, it's well, I think Mars Aston's got Jim Mason with him.
Certainly have, Gary. Jim, that was a strong win in the end.
Yeah, look, he shows a lot of potential, this horse. Like, he's won now his last 4. You know, his first 2 wins first up have been incredible, and, you know, he was this the sort of race we'd set him for, you know.
He has been in terrific form, hasn't he?
He has, you know. I mean, he's obviously above average. He only does what we sort of ask of him, and he had a pretty tight run today, no cover, down the middle of the straight, so, yeah, the win was good.
And working his way through the classes nicely. What are you going to do with him now?
Look, I probably won't overtax him. He'll probably have another run, then go out, then maybe pick up a nice race in the autumn, something like that. Yeah.
And Stephen Baster, a lucky ride there.
He does a lot of riding for me, Stephen. Jason was meant to ride him, but unfortunately he was sick, so, yeah, lucky pickup ride.
Congratulations on Family Day. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Pete.
Jim Mason, the winning trainer with Mark Aston. Yes, a lucky pickup there for Stephen Baster, replacing Jason Patton aboard Rocky's Pal here in the first. Second, Captain Clipper, Lincoln Coffey, and third, Vanderhaar, Greg Childs. 7, 11, 5 are the numbers. 1 down, 8 to go. The big day ahead of us here at Flemington. There is the ever-smiling Stevie Baster. We'll take you to a break now and be back with the weight signal and dividends on the first at Flemington.